they dance, they just get it out, you know, get connected with the universe. Raves, and according to Helen Evans, who is an anthropologist who did a case study on the raves, I was reading out of her journal, and raves are likened to trance-like tribal rituals where ravers celebrate their unity and shared uplifted state, giving and receiving freely from one another. So I'm sure you all heard of PLUR, maybe you haven't, but it stands for peace, love, unity, respect. And that's a big thing in the raving culture. You know, what's mine is yours, and you know, it's kind of everybody's out there for each other. And you know, this also, you know, provides a safer environment for, you know, females to dance in, where they aren't, you know, being attacked like they would be at a rave or not a rave concert, a rap concert, or, you know, a hip hop concert, or, you know, a setting of that sort. And so that is you know, a little bit safer for them. And it's just, you know, it's a place that unites, you know, 450,000 people at EDC, 218 countries, more countries than are in the UN are actually gathering for these raves at places in Belgium like Tomorrowland, you know, Creamfields in England, Tomorrow World in Atlanta, Ultra in Miami. Just there's a ton of these shows where there's actually more countries represented at these shows than there are in the United Nations, which I thought was pretty cool. And so moving on, the next correlation that I wanna come up to is kind of the DJ shaman setting that they have there. And so if you kind of go with me on this, the DJ is kind of the person that brings this whole event about, which would be what, you know, what the shaman would do for these rituals, whether it was, you know, a passing of age, or, you know, a ritual where somebody had just passed away and they're mourning, and in different cultures they do different things. And so, but each DJ, you know, has his separate style. And so, you know, if you're wanting to go, you know, just crazy and dance, you know, you can go listen to house music. If you're trying to kind of just go trip out, or, you know, do something else, you can go listen to dubstep. And basically what the DJ and shaman do provide, and granted there are a lot of drugs that I've seen at raves, I've seen people fall out, have convulsions, and it's insane. But for the most part, you know, it's kind of everybody's there just kind of controlling their sensory overload, you know. The people that have, you know, been around, they don't have to take anything. They can just go in and they have a great time. The lights will stimulate them from what the DJs have put together, plus the transit beats, which can also, let's see, according to Dr. Russell Newcomb, to stretch the religious metaphor, DJs are the high priests of the rave ceremony, responding to the mood of the crowd with their mixing desks symbolizing the altar, the only direction in which the ravers consistently face. And that was another anthropologist that studied the culture of raves. Next, what I want to point to, which is probably the most important in this, is beats and dance. And this is where my argument comes in, that you don't need drugs to provide an altered state of mind. They just make it way easier, you know, to get that altered state of mind. But let's see, one quote I want to share is from the Durham Anthropology Journal. And they ran this test on, they had a control that didn't take any drugs, and then they were experimenting with different drugs in different groups, on 200 people per group. And so consciousness alteration in dance is found in over 90% of those represented in the human relation area files, and it's accomplished by an array of sensory deprivation and overload. So the lights, loud music, that can all lead to it. And another thing that I thought was very interesting, there's a story about a guy that took a 70-year-old Zen monk to a rave party. He was curious enough to overcome his dislike of the music until his face lit up with a revelation. This is meditation, he shouted above the noise. Later he explained that the walking meditation he taught involved being fully aware in the moment without any internal dialogue separating actions from intentions, and that the same definition applied to the dancers all around him. So, with that being said, the monk can see, a correlation. There's some sort of spiritual experience that's happening at these raves. And, all in all, my main thing is that raves should be looked at more in depth before they are judged to the extent of, a druggy cult rebellion and that sort of thing. And, the beats and dance are important, the huge gatherings are important to this, and also the DJs, Shaman Link, there are some correlations that can be seen in this. So now I wonder how many of you can break the change of the prejudgment and let yourself be free to experience what a rave has to offer. Thank you.